but see, the coffee cup is occupying the spot where the camera would be. There was a dead skunk on the side of the road. I knew you needed to hear that. Yeah. So handheld works for me. Yeah, that's one thing about the coffee cups. This old car doesn't have cup holders. They've been making cup holders in cars for the last 20 years or so, but this car is 23 years old, and I think it was an old design when it was built in '87. I think the design was about 10 years old, so like this design, this dashboard and everything dates back to the late 70s. Even the interior looks kind of late 70s, which is perfectly fine by me. Everything is where it's supposed to be. But you know what? I am babbling a lot, and I'm going to have to upload this to my computer if I don't stop talking now. Later, when I think of something else, I'll turn this on again. This is Wyoming. I'm about 20 miles into the state of Wyoming at this little town whose name I forget. I guess I will see it when I leave it, and then I will know where the hell in Wyoming I am. I know that I'm still on the I-90, and I'm looking at, I almost lost it when I got off the highway. It said gas with an arrow 9 miles to gas, and it was really empty. There was about half a gallon left in there, and I don't know if I would have made the 9 miles to the next. Actually, you know, I've been doing quite good for gas mileage. I've been getting at 75 miles an hour cruising speed with the cruise control on, 24 miles to the gallon. Now, the last time I drove this kind of distance, well, besides with the van and with Cindy, was with my 68 Mercury. That was Montego, and that had a smaller engine than this, but I think the gearing was lower, so it was getting about 20 miles to the gallon. I hope I'm going the right way here to get back on the interstate. I think I am. Speed limit 45. Oh yeah. There's train tracks, and straight ahead there, 90, 97. We want to go 90. Oh, still straight ahead to 90. 90 junction. 1,000 feet. Okay. So we're motoring along pretty good here. The smell of the fried chicken in that place was just scrumptious, but I gotta watch with deep fried stuff, and I already had some fries and a burger on the way, and a bagel, and all those carbs and stuff. I wonder how my sugars are doing. Hey, that reminds me, I did not bring my glucometer, so I don't know how my sugars are. I don't feel tired, so they're probably not high, and they might even be low because my vision is somewhat blurry, but that could also be because I have been on the road as much as I have. It is about 24 hours since I left Victoria, since I left home, and now I'm into Wyoming. Yeah. So Wyoming, that would be, let me see if I can calculate my brain functions are getting slow. There's some more Tomorrow Burger. Lots of Tomorrow Burger. Okay, speed limit 75, so I can maybe boost it up a notch. Turn that. You know, somebody had the foresight to leave this car entirely stock. Probably the original owner. Except for one thing. Since it's a fairly plain car, it does not have air conditioning and power locks and power seats and what other things come power besides power windows, power mirrors, heated mirrors. What it has is a V8 engine, an automatic transmission, power steering, and power brakes. And for creature comforts, we have an AM/FM stereo radio, which fortunately it plays my my iPod, which I've got sitting there and plugged into that 200 watt inverter, which makes it so that the iPod doesn't shake around and fall out of the cigarette lighter receptacle. And the other reason I got the 200 watt inverter for is to charge batteries and to plug in my computer if I want to. So the only trouble is there isn't much Wi-Fi up here. It's been a pretty good drive so far. I've had zero trouble of any kind, with one exception. Some guy in a camper van almost ran me off the road before. I was coming along and I was just passing him going about 15 miles an hour faster than he was, and just as I was next to him, he decided to change lanes into the lane I was using. Now why the fuck he was doing that, I don't know, but I gave him a good dirty look, which he deserved. Like, you know, the ones that they're going slower than you are and you're about to pass them and then they pull out right in front of you because they're passing a truck or a RV or something. Anyway, this guy had nothing in front of him, absolutely nothing, and he decided to change lanes just when I was there. So I was getting squeezed into a bridge abutment, much like this one coming up here. If you look carefully, you'll see what I mean. I almost got squeezed into one of those like that. That would have been the end of me, or at least the end of this car. Speaking of which, when I stopped for gas, there was this woman there. She must have been about 60 years old, and she saw my car and she says, "What year is your Plymouth?" I told her it's 87. And then she says, "It sure is pretty." And I said, "Well, it's the best car I ever had." And that's what my dad called it when he saw it 7 years ago and rode in it. He says, "Oh, this is a finely finished machine." He said, "This is the best car that I've seen you have." I still have it. Yeah. I do love this old car, and I like it even more. I like it even more now that it's taking me on this trip. Actually, you know, I did drive it one time on a road trip like this. In fact, on this very road, back in 2002, shortly after I got it. See, a friend of mine from the internet, surprise, surprise, was throwing a party in his backyard in, it was near Chicago. Was it Joliet? No. Naperville. And what's really odd and strange about that is that he died about 2 months ago. Suddenly, unexplained, or maybe it's been explained by now, but suddenly he just died. Up and died. A friend of mine from the internet, way back from the days of when we were still doing Usenet. But guess what? The group is back on Usenet. About a week or two ago, somebody from Usenet started finding us, all the people who were on that group, through Facebook. And every now and then there's a message on this secret little club that I belong to now. Every time a message goes up on that little secret club, I know about it. And it's interesting that, you know, things come around and go around like that. You know, like the last time I drove this car on this road to Chicago, I went to a party that was being held by someone who passed away recently. And how fragile is life? How fragile, and how much time can go by, and how many changes can happen. Yet, you know, 8 years later, in fact, it's a few months more than 8 years later, who would have thought I'd be driving this car again on this highway and giving it to someone who means a lot to me. Mom, I'm going to show you this video. I'm going to show you this video. You've been there for me all the time. You helped me out when I needed it. You gave me moral support. You sat at my bedside when I wouldn't get out of bed because I was suffering from depression. Now I can give you a little something back. It may not be much to a lot of people who drive fancy, expensive cars with fancy wheels and nice shiny paint jobs and all the creature comforts and power everything and sticker prices of $60, $70, $80, $90,000. But this little $2,000 investment means as much to me as their cars mean to them. Maybe more. Because it's 8 years of history. I didn't think I'd get so emotional about this trip. I didn't think I would. But I'm giving up something that means a lot to me for someone I love. Who'd have thought Wyoming would get this out of me?
Fetwick.
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 Fetwick. Fetwick.